Despite growing legal issues, former President Donald Trump still holds a commanding lead in the GOP primaries. With 5 months to go before the Iowa caucuses, one state evangelical leader says he sees a different story unfolding.
Former President Mike Pence is among the candidates stumping the Hawkeye state in hopes of closing the gap with Trump. He sat down with CBN White House correspondent Abigail Robertson to talk about his efforts to stand out from the pack.
Conservative evangelicals played a key role in sending President Trump to the White House in 2016. While he delivered on many policy promises, his demeanor this time around remains a challenge for the values-based voting bloc. That leaves 2024 GOP candidates hopeful there's an opportunity to chip away at the frontrunner's evangelical support.
I think Iowa's going to be wide open. I do think it's very open to defeat Donald Trump.
Bob Vander Plaats, CEO and president of the Family Leader, is also known as the GOP kingmaker in Iowa. He's casting serious doubts on Trump's 26-point lead in the state.
Well, first of all, it's not my first rodeo. So I've looked at polls before. And in 2008, Giuliani would have been your nominee. In 12, Rick Perry would have been your nominee. In 16, Jeb Bush or Scott Walker would have been your nominee. And I don't see anything on the ground that supports that wide of a margin in the polls.
Vander Plaats successfully predicted the last 3 Iowa GOP caucus winners. He tells CBN News he'll determine at Thanksgiving whether or not he'll endorse, and believes evangelical voters are focused on one key issue.
Who can win in 2024? And I would say that's more of a priority this go around than before. Every 2 years we say this is the most important election of our lifetime. In 2024, we really believe this is the most important election of our lifetime, that we believe a Christian conservative statesman needs to win in 2024.
Former Vice President Mike Pence is one of the 2024 contenders, hoping to stand out in the crowd for evangelical voters.
I hope people see me as the most consistent, proven conservative in this race.
CBN News spoke to Pence in Iowa after a religious liberty summit held with leaders of Christian colleges around the country.
I think the challenge today with a changing culture is to ensure that we are defending the right of religious education in America. The First Amendment protects the freedom of religion in this country. And as President of the United States, I'll be appointing judges to our courts at every level that'll uphold religious liberty.
Pence tells CBN News he believes he's well known, but not known well.
People know me as that loyal vice president standing beside the president through a consequential administration. I was always loyal to President Donald Trump until my oath to the Constitution required me to do otherwise. But they may not know that I was a governor of a state that balanced budgets, cut taxes, had record employment, stood for the right to life, stood for educational choice for parents.
Recent polls have Pence polling around 3% in Iowa, and some voters greet him with a cool reception.
You're a traitor!
Pence often defends his actions, certifying President Joe Biden's election victory on January 6, 2020.
I mean, the American people deserve to know that the president asked me to choose him over my oath to the Constitution, but I chose the Constitution, and I always will.
Iowa voters are hearing him out.
We had a little bit of concern about how he handled his time with Trump in the office. But I think the more I hear, the more he did. He was loyal to him.
But Vander Plaats lists Pence as just one of many candidates pulling voters away from the current GOP frontrunner.
They're all making a play for that lane. And they're all doing a good job because they're here a lot. They're shaking the hands. They're looking people in the eye. And that's part of the battle. You got to show up. People need to determine, can I trust you? And so I would say Governor DeSantis, Vivek Ramaswamy, Nikki Haley, Mike Pence, Tim Scott, they're all working that exceptionally hard.
With many Iowa evangelicals saying they're open to someone besides Trump, the state's January caucus will be the first official indicator of whether evangelical voters will indeed move on from the former president. Reporting from Iowa, Abigail Robertson, CBN News.
Thank you, Abigail. And you can see Abigail Robertson's full interview with Mike Pence on our CBN News YouTube channel. Great news resource for you there if you didn't know.